Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Firm. I'm Al Heated Gore because I'm heated.
Wow. It's Friday, too.
Calming down.
Been a heck of a week.
Lance Cool Cayko.
That's what they call him, Lance Cool Cat Cayko. And if you listen to last week's episode, which was a special edition, you'll know that Al's the real host.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I tell you, you got to laugh out of that one.
Al's about the only one.
Yeah.
Al's a much better comedian on stage than I am. That's for sure.
I feel like I'm just
he's natural.
Natural at it.
Oh, yeah. He's natural.
Natural at it.
Yeah. Natural guy.
Can't force
Al,
the jokes.
naturally heated and funny Gore.
There we go. Before we get into it, I want to tell you that old Leapskin buddy contacted me.
Yes, he did. He called me first.
Oh, good.
Shout out. There's going to be a name coming. I put him on the spot, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on.
I'm sorry, Al. Started with a J.
It was Jared.
Yes.
Yep, it was Jared.
Yes.
And he just was inquiring. He's going to dip back into Revit. Wanted to get the Revit Rocket Ship course at revitrocketship.com. Jumped into it, and then he emailed me. This is awesome. 2 exclamation points. Just started the first videos and really like the logic and the approach. Everything is really clear.
2 exclamation points.
You gotta, I mean, if that's how you feel, you gotta say it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't, like, you gotta let them know in the emails.
Yeah.
So, if you're thinking about learning Revit, this comes from a guy that's, I don't know, he's had some experience, right? But to really sink your teeth into it, rather than just a piecemeal approach, you touch some things, you listen to some YouTubes, right? To really kind of systematically fill out your tree, design your tree so that you can add on to it. Go to revitrocketship.com, take a look at it. Money back guarantee if you don't like it. So go ahead, try it out. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. It's going to pay itself off in the end. Go check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing you need to check out is PellaLuxury.com/the firm. If you haven't went there, please go check it out. It is fantastic. That website, everything they're doing is amazing over at Pella Luxury, and you've never experienced a brand like this before. Check out this swag again. I freaking love my new Pella Luxury of Division polo, shirt, jacket, whatever you want to call it. It is so comfortable. I slept in it last night. I'm not joking. The collection of brands within the luxury division of Pella are the conversation starters, the pioneers of industry who provide window and door solutions to discerning architects, the building industry, and beyond. They have decades of experience creating things no one else in the world is creating, and the collection of brands are brought together to complement and build on one another. They don't push beyond the limits, they set them. Explore PellaLuxury.com/the firm today. The other thing you need to check out is ARCAT.com. Bitcoin's at 60,000. I saw that.
Okay. Sorry.
60,000. Broke 60 today.
I'm going to see. Just wait right now.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is on fire right now. Al Gore's very happy about it. I'm happy for him because he's got diamond hands.
They're so rough. They cut people.
I don't even know how he does anything with these hands made of diamond.
I break multiple things.
It's insanity. BIM can be important for your next project, but it's not the only thing you need for your next project. That's why it's important that 95% of manufacturers who offer free BIM files on ARCAT also offer another type of data your project needs. That means 95% of the products with BIM also have CAD files, are in specification, and using the patented spec wizard, and or have project information that can help you make the right selection. So stop going to a site with just BIM. That's silly. Instead, go to arcat.com to get everything you need for your next project for free and without registering. That's arcat.com, arcat.com. Al Gore.
Here we go. First, just to recap, that special episode last week was our presentation at the School of Architecture at NDSU.
North Dakota State.
because we're up there for the Horizon Award, which
Yeah.
was awesome. I thought it was absolutely awesome.
Truly blessed, truly honored. Thank you, Justin Miedema, for putting in the package for it, the submission for it. Everybody else who helped us get there.
Yep.
I couldn't say thank you enough. At some point, I think we're going to have access to like the YouTube video of it, and maybe we'll splice that into a special episode or something like that.
But didn't it come out that they don't? They told us that they didn't.
I don't remember that.
Viet said they don't have video, which is too bad because I really like Miedema's part was great. Like because my parents were watching the kids, so they couldn't see it. They saw a little snippet of me and you. They saw me and you, but not Miedema.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna do it. I honestly think they have a video. They're not releasing it because there was 1,000 people
With no masks.
with no masks because it's North Dakota.
Yeah. Go team, go.
So yeah, I was like, they'll maybe.
I
100.
thought that's exactly probably why,
yeah.
too. Political reasons.
And they probably talked about it like,
Which
nah.
is fair. I get it. People don't like backlash. You know, I don't expect everybody to stand up and be free.
Yeah.
Except for you, Joe Rogan. Thank you very much this last week. Appreciate that.
Did you see the Sanjay Gupta?
Exactly.
No, but did you watch the whole episode?
No, I only watch. Here's what I do. I don't listen to Joe besides until he agrees with my politics.
Which is never going to happen because he's a different person.
He did this time, and then for 2 minutes and 20 seconds, he agrees with my politics because he just said the media sucks, basically.
Yeah. Anyways, if you don't have an episode to listen to that one. Just because like him and Sanjay had a good time. And yeah, Joe's not where you are politically, but yeah, I mean, he didn't back down. He said like, don't you think it's a huge issue that if you lie about a stupid comedian taking a horse dewormer, what else are you lying about?
Yeah.
Like,
Syria.
why are you doing that?
Russia.
Why? It's easy.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn off the news. Turn off the news. Turn on Inside the Firm.
Hey. There you go. That's all I have for the recap.
Ah, and now I see how to get to yes.
We already talked about this.
Oh, good. We can take it off. Good.
Yeah. But this was basically the face-to-face request. A face-to-face request is 34 more times more successful than an email. So, hey, Lance, can I run over to your house this afternoon and get that table?
I don't think it's there.
It's not here. It's not here.
I don't know where it is.
It has to be at your house.
I don't know what I did with it.
Did you take it on some sort of fishing thing and leave it?
No. I don't know.
Event? Your wife had an event?
It might be downstairs. Let me look when I go home for lunch.
Perfect.
Okay. Sorry.
Thanks.
You're inside the firm.
And then will you bring it back here?
Yeah.
He just said yes.
I think it is down in there. I think it is in our basement.
If I would have
Pretty sure.
emailed you, wouldn't have worked.
That's true. There you go. See how it works, everybody?
Yep. Know
Yeah.
what? Hey. So they say it's 34 times more likely because what that means is like if you send out 200 emails for like, let's say you want $10 to help your kid Boy Scout or Girl Scout.
Yeah.
That's another tangent if you want me to go on. You'll get the same amount of money if you just went and asked 6 people.
Yeah.
Right? And one of it is because it's harder for face-to-face, but then also I wonder too if like you get over those difficulties like in 4 seconds rather than in like 8 emails. Like, oh, sorry, I don't have any cash. Like, hey, okay, can I come over on Tuesday? Will you be there on Tuesday? Yeah, okay, I'll put a calendar invite and you'll have a check or cash then.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Get that $10 from you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess this is the Lance show then from here on out. So if you are watching on YouTube, I just hit record on my computer, and I've got a post pulled up. It's off of LinkedIn. Lucas Gray, I think he maybe still listens to this show, another architect, shared a post and it's titled "Why Hire an Architect?" And so I want to go through a few of the things with Al here and get his reaction. So the first slide you'll see on your screen here is it says it is tempting to cut costs by not proceeding with an architect. However, while you may save money in the short term, you are putting yourself or your organization at a serious disadvantage over time. So that's kind of what they're saying here, and so. They go on to say, when looking at long-term cost of building, you should expect to spend 1% of the value each year. That 1% can be quickly returned in energy efficiency, maintenance, and overall good design. They got a chart viewing the costs in the life cycle of a building here. 80% of the life cost is utilization, then 15% is construction going into it, 3% demolition, and 2% is the planning. Do you think architects save money in the long run if you hire them versus not? Al Gore.
Yes.
If they do their job.
If they do their job. And there's levels to doing your job, from efficient layout to getting the spaces correctly to I'm reviewing truss drawings, and like everything works with the truss drawings, but in a couple areas I don't like the spacing. Like we could fit some ductwork through, but like we're gonna have to only use one type of ductwork, and that ductwork's more expensive. So it's like I'm talking to the engineer. Can we space these out using a couple different methods, either doubling them up? And that gives us more flexibility in construction. More flexibility in construction is going to save cost because there's more options.
More flexibility in construction. Holy cow, that is a great point. Honestly, just dimensional tolerances. Providing some kind of level of dimensional tolerances, so maybe the mechanical, electrical, plumbers, plus the carpenters can all live in much more harmony because there's room to maneuver,
right,
in the plenum or in the crawl space.
And my thought process is, hey, you still might use that 3-inch ductwork that's, whatever. But more flexibility allows more options, which I'm just going to finish up, which leads to more competition. More competition leads to the more opportunity for price decreasing.
I love it. So then they go on to say architects can save you money, right?
Look at that.
A good architect will help you get the same benefit out of a 10% smaller area by designing it for space efficiency.
Dude, this is what the guys were talking about. Like, this needs to be a slide, like, and quoted, like, from this reasure. Like, this is such a selling point. Like,
what Al is talking about is we had, as many of you know, we had a corporate retreat. Part of one of the action items from the corporate retreat over the summer was forming a sustainability committee, and then they give us a presentation on the progress so far.
So homework for Lance.
Homework
is in between now and the next meeting. It's like this slide, and I can see the next slide coming up. Is like these. We should literally take these and then put a quote and be like, okay, an architect can save you 10%.
Yep.
Of construction, right? And this means all this stuff, and then go into our process of how we would do that. And then it's, man, like if someone gets to this whole thing, like I feel like it should be an easier sell for them to do.
Yes.
All this.
Yep. So savings, 10% on construction, 10% on taxes. Everybody loves to save money on taxes because the government just blows it. And 10% on upkeep and operations. I'm with you, especially on the construction, the 2-foot increments like Alex was talking about. The ability to design with flexibility and spaces so that people can do their jobs without having to move something during construction, and then they got to do an upcharge for it.
Maybe we need to do a video on this, doing the presentation about sustainability, so that if someone's interested, we can send them that and say, hey, watch this.
Yeah, I like it.
2 seconds.
A good architect will make your building more energy efficient and reduce the maintenance on your structure savings, 10 to 20% or more on annual operation costs. I would agree with that, especially when it comes to selecting materials you're not going to have to repaint in 10 years, stuff like that. Better insulation details, and I actually have an A.R.E. question based on a field observation of poor insulation and what it's going to maybe cost the owner in the end. Cost of an architect. Oh, they spelled architects wrong. Architects' fees will vary depending on the location and complexity of the project and level of the service expected from the architect. Some architects will charge you on the basis of a total project cost, others on a fixed price lump sum or on a time charge basis, right? Quote, an architect's fee is not the simple exchange of dollars for product. I know. This is exactly why I wanted you to react.
Sorry, I'm obviously an architect.
Is he?
We don't know yet. I could be a hologram. But
that's where we're gonna get the new bodies from.
Elon
Musk.
Elon Musk. That's something that's said, and you're like, yeah, but that's not how the world sees it.
So here's what they continue to say. I'm with you, Al, but here's what they continue to say. Just keep reacting. It isn't, quote, it is instead a partnership of ideas, expertise, and effort to create an ideal design that will be functional, beautiful, and efficient for many decades to come.
Okay, stop.
Stop, pause.
An iPhone fee is not a simple exchange of dollars or products. Instead, it is a partnership of ideas, expertise, and efforts in the design to create this to be functional, beautiful, and efficient for the many years to come. Like, you can, it's a statement. It was a bunch of words that mean not a lot. Who's the Dilbert guy? Do you follow him on
Scott Adams?
Yeah. The more and more I hear him, the more I'm like, you're saying a lot without saying anything. You're twisting words to seem like it's smart. I'm sorry.
Freaking Scott Adams. He got the 2016 election right, and after that, we should have just all shut him off.
Yeah. It's like you're saying stuff that the way you phrase it makes it seem like it's insightful, but you aren't saying anything.
Yeah. Much to do about nothing.
Yeah. But he really thinks that he's super, super smart. He is intelligent, but like, oh man. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. We should have shut him off. Yeah. Instead of how much an architect will cost you, think of how much an architect will save you. Well, so that's the end of it. I mean, that's the end of the little post here. And so
I still love it.
I still like it too, and I think there's some value to take from it. I think here's the reason why I want to bring it up is like Alex shot a hole in part of the argument here. And you need to steelman yourself as an architect. And the only way you're going to do that is if you need to prove it. You need to prove somehow visually to people how you are actually potentially saving them. Like on this slide here again, 10% on construction, 10% on taxes, upkeep, all of these things. You can't just say it. And if you do just say it and sell somebody on it, fair enough. Maybe you just prove Lance wrong. But
sure.
I'm telling you, you have a better shot of them buying off on what you're saying if you somehow have some visual cues to this, some real data, something digestible.
I think the only reason I would steelman this and think about this more deeply is because there's two different ways of convincing, right? There's the emotional and there's the woo-woo, right?
Yeah.
The woo-woo and the emotional is going to be solved by the images because they like your architecture and they like your personality, right? So that's where you can talk about all that and design and all that stuff. And then there's going to be the factual, which is going to be the numbers. And what they did is after the numbers, then they tried to say, oh, but the numbers don't really matter because it's more than just the numbers or money. So it's like then you went back to a woo-woo to justify after you just justified your numbers, like it's like discrediting yourself. You just discredited yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So if you separate them, and if you would have said, hey, the design, the creativity, all this stuff is more than just the numbers. Okay, gotcha. That's worth X. Now, savings, construction knowledge, all that's worth a different pile of X to me.
Yeah. Moving ahead, I want to talk about, so today's episode is titled, Why You Should Ignore the Haters. And I wanted to share with you a little exploration I did last week while, I believe it was actually while me and Al were even up in North Dakota because we work on the road. So we have a custom house. It's actually called Red Hill Road. And if you go to the website and you go to the portfolio page, it's at the top of the list. And this owner is one of the owners that is potentially wanting us to build it. So I was putting together a bunch of quotes and starting to identify subcontractors and stuff. It's a mountain property, so different set of people will be potentially working with. But I found in looking for other people, I was on the consumer side of things again, and I was seeing what people were saying about other companies.
Oh, nice.
So I was screening myself through that, knowing that we are usually the opposite of that, right? We're the outward business, and we get reviews, and sometimes they're crap reviews, right? And there's an industry standard right now that is recommended. It's also recommended by, tech giants. And I'm very skeptical of tech giants, especially after you've seen kind of the censorship and all the other stuff. But they're out there for their best interest. I'm not really sure it's in for your best interest.
Sure.
So one of the things they try to do is they say, like, if you get a bad review, you need to respond to it. And Alex and I have been debating about that. Like, should we respond to bad reviews? And I'm convinced, nope, you don't do it. Here's why.
Okay.
So I found a potential subcontractor up in the mountains of Colorado for this house, and I was looking through their reviews, and here's a perfect example. So here's what this guy writes, okay? And this is all public, so I'm not going to name the company.
Yeah, don't name names. Oh, you already saw it.
I'm not recording.
Okay.
Okay, I won't name names, but it's public. So this guy writes, didn't bring the parts required, ended up reusing what was meant to be trashed. Instead of returning to his shop and supplying the job as requested, job seemed rushed. Lazy craftsmanship. Here's the point, right? Then you can tell that this review was revised because he goes, in response to the owner. Your description is not what happened.
Interesting.
During the scheduling call, I explained to have the parts, but perhaps required several shop supplies. I had the condensate trap piping adapters and neutralizer. The shop supplies needed were simple: piping, elbows, glue. The serviceman acknowledged he had the elbows but would have to drive to get them. He decided that the drive was too inconvenient and reused the trash piping. Instead, my trap was used. Moreover, glue was dripped on the tile below. No drop cloth was used. The piping would look better if it didn't terminate at an angle, but rather vertically down to the drain like it was originally. Finally, it took them 30 minutes. Sure, maybe the extra 28 was spent packing in and out of the driveway and collecting my signature. In the end, it works, but certainly could be better. If it starts leaking, I'll be sure to call you back. 2 stars.
Okay. Seems concerning. Seems concerning.
But remember, he wrote, in response to the owner, your description is not what happened. The owner took the bait and replied immediately before the guy revised his original review. Hi, Charles. Thanks for taking the time to leave a review. You called our office and scheduled us to quote, customer concerns, leak underneath, diagnosed through someone else. He got the parts and believes there are issues. Can provide results of some tests he has had done and show you, end quote. Our technician arrived and installed the condensate neutralizer you provided. The part that was reused was the condensate trap that is part of your furnace. This part is not replaced typically, and we do not stock parts for furnaces that are not readily available at altitude. Your furnace is rated for 4,500 feet, and no one in the mountains sells furnaces meant for use at altitudes below Denver. There were 2 technicians that were on the job and worked for 58 minutes. Typically, we would diagnose an issue and then provide an appropriate parts. But in this case, you diagnosed it yourself and provided parts. The reused part did not need to be replaced and cost around $65 shipped in. I truly wish we could stock every single part on a truck, but it is simply not possible because it would take bringing an entire warehouse to each job. I have pictures of the job, which I have linked in this review. The craftsmanship was not lazy, and I'm sorry you feel that way. I am very accessible to discuss any issues you have with the service call. I wish you the very best and do apologize that you were not happy with the service provided. Recap, again, the original complainer then revised their original review. Don't tangle yourself with the haters because you're just going to get into a shouting match and arguing. Like, it's not worth it to acknowledge their existence.
So, okay, I understand that they revised it and all that, and I think you can literally take both approaches, because the approach you're saying is the Joe Rogan approach. Like, there's probably millions of people yelling at him. How could you respond? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. And then 2, these arguments, like, man, I remember this was before the woke culture and all that. I guess it was just starting, like, just getting in debates with friends, and it was like, holy cow, this is paragraph after paragraph, and people are just talking past each other,
Yes.
and it's crazy. The only thing I would say, though, so I think that's acceptable, but the first review, let's just say it was only the first paragraph. Didn't bring parts required, ended up reusing parts meant to be trash instead of returning to his shop and supplying the job as requested. Seemed rush, lazy craftsmanship. Let's say that's all he had. Then the owner, and then the revision. And then I don't think the owner should reply after this. What I'm saying is like, if it was just that first paragraph, without the owner's response, like, the owner's response makes total sense. I'd be like, oh yeah. Like,
by the way, I reach out to these guys.
Yeah.
After reading through the lines.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Oh, he makes complete sense. Oh, he revised it and still, like, added on and piled on.
Mm-hmm.
Still seems like I buy the owner's response.
Yeah.
Seems like it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, is that
I see.
I necessarily wouldn't have bought the owner without his response, even though the guy edited it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Just know what
what you're into.
Exactly. Understand the game.
Yep.
This is a game. For some people, they don't understand what they don't have any respect for entrepreneurs. They don't have any respect for business owners. They don't have any respect for anybody but themselves. In that, an entrepreneur, business owner, that person's ass is on the line from day one. Their ass is on the line from the last day, and they're the people responsible for making sure everything is operating so that people can feed themselves. Piss off with your bad reviews, or just ignore them. But like, know the game that you're dealing with regarding that. Like, you can get yourself in more entanglement, or you could just ignore it. It's up to you.
Right. Yeah, and this is what you mean, like, reading between the lines, is that I think there's something, let's just say to a restaurant, 20 people say the service is crap, they take too long. Maybe it's because they can't find enough people. Okay, I understand that. Or maybe it's just like it's run poorly and it's a whole bunch.
Sure.
There are also, what I see is like people who don't know what they're talking about, or even do know what they're talking about. Meaning, like, I know what I'm talking about, and I could criticize another architect's drawings all I want. But if I did do that, like, then know the personality of me is like, oh, I don't have the ability to have perspective. And I don't think some people have the ability to have perspective. And that's some of the reviews I think you'll get are from that. It's like, and no, so funny.
So you got to make a judgment call.
You have to make a judgment call. Here's the thing. Because they don't have the ability to have perspective, they literally will not see if you make that point.
Bingo. So you're never going to get through to them.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And then it's just talking past each other, paragraphs. Nobody got anywhere.
Yeah.
I know somebody who's going to take us somewhere, and he's going to take us on a little magical journey.
There's lots of perspective. Mm-hmm. This is Nick with Nick Reads.
Hello, best friends. I hope you all had a great week this week. A reading from the field. Gentlemen, you are the top 1% of all naval aviators. The elite. The best of the best. Will make you better. Fly at least 2 combat missions a day, attend classes in between, and evaluations of your performance. Now, in each combat sequence, you're going to meet a different challenge. Every encounter is going to be much more difficult. We're going to teach you to fly the F-14 right to the edge of the envelope, faster than you've ever flown before, and more dangerous. Now, we don't make the policy here, gentlemen. Elected officials, civilians do that. We are the instruments of that policy. And although we are not at war, we must always act as though we are at war. Mike Metcalf. Call sign, Viper. From Top Gun. Toodles.
So, there's a real Top Gun. Like, it exists.
Absolutely. It's this loosely based on the Top Gun Academy thing or whatever.
Yep. So, Jocko Podcast, he has his one of his best friends is Good Deal Dave. Good Deal Dave is a Marine pilot that went to Top Gun. And Top Gun is a Navy thing, but Marines are in the Navy.
Yeah.
And I think the Air Force goes to Top Gun too. I don't know. Pilots probably all hang out with each other. Jocko Podcast 135 with Dave Burke, who is Good Deal Dave. He talks about it. He talks about his experience at Top Gun. I think he either taught at Top Gun or helped run Top Gun afterwards. But, like, it is an intense...
Known in military cycles as Top Gun. The formal name of the training program is the Navy Strike Fighter Tactics Instructor Program. Acronym is SFTI. Physically located at the Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Center at Naval Air Station Fallon in Nevada, Top Gun is a part of an operation featuring 12 departments. There you go.
Did I tell you how they used to... did you hear how Navy pilots and all Army pilots, I mean, not Army anymore, but Air Force pilots would mess with people?
No.
For UFO sightings? Did you not hear this? So what they say they do is, like, they're out in Nevada, they're out in California, they're out all over the place, right? And they'd see a camper because, like, they'd see a fire and they're guys and women who are young who like to mess with people. So they would come in, fly down real low, turn off their engines, coast in, and then get right above the camper, turn their plane vertical, and then turn on their engines and go poof, straight up.
Nice.
And all you see is two glowing lights and poof. You're like, what was that? Like, we used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that's a brilliant idea.
I wish I was a pilot. I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. Very good, Nick. Keep it up. If you are listening to this podcast and you are looking for a job and you're a licensed architect, Nick is actually hiring. I think he's still hiring, and if he isn't, he already found somebody. Congratulations. But they're opening up a satellite office in Montana because he's getting some kick butt work out there, kick ass work. So go take a look at his website. It's right on the website, Dig Architecture, DIG.
Yep.
If you're listening, looking for a job, go to Montana. There's lots of trout there.
All right. Let's bring down the crew for A.R.E. Jeopardy. All right. This is a question that is applicable. Okay? According to the IBC, IBC, not IRC, each dwelling unit must have at least one room of how many square feet in net area? Do you understand the question? Yep. Is it A, 70 square feet, B, 120 square feet, C, 100 square feet, or D, 150 square feet? Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1, turn it. C. Ross. Oh, you're not in it. Okay. B, A. It is B, 120 square feet. Kind of links to question number 2.
Uh-oh.
Mark, I'm thinking about your unit in Denver where you live. And in IBC, an efficient dwelling unit shall have a living room of not less than how many square feet in floor area. What's weird is that the first question, they specifically, I looked up in the code, it was net area, and this is just floor area. So I don't know why they didn't say net in this one. Is it A, 120 square feet, B, 110 square feet, C, 100 square feet, or D, 220 square feet? All right. Ready? C. Everyone said C, which was 100, right? Makes sense. No, 220 square feet. I don't even think your whole apartment is 220 square feet. That's what it says. And it says for every occupant over 2, you must add 100 more square feet to the living room. No, maybe 11. Yeah. Oh, I closed my tabs. I didn't Jason it and keep open a million tabs. That's on me. But it's in there. I can show you guys.
My turn?
Yep.
Number 3. What is the minimum clearance to be provided between ductwork, plumbing, or other building systems and at the top of a ceiling grid? What is the minimum clearance to be provided between ductwork, plumbing, or other building systems at the top of the ceiling grid? So in other words, top of ceiling grid, what kind of space do you need to provide between the top of the ceiling grid once it's installed and the bottom of stuff? So you can install the tiles. One second. A 1 inches, B 2 inches, C 3 inches, D 6 inches. A 1 inches, B 2 inches, C 3 inches, D 6 inches. What do we got? D, C. Correct answer, C. 3 inches. You are on a site visit. Number 4, you are on a site visit to a tenant finish and you observe a piece of vinyl face fiberglass insulation falling down from the underside of a vaulted ceiling. Upon further inspection, you notice there is condensation on the underside of the roofing panels. What should you do? A, instruct the workers to put the insulation back up. B, put the insulation back up yourself. C, take a photo and inform the core and shell architect, contractor, and developer of the observation. D, come up with your own detail for the insulation, even though you are only the tenant finish architect. This should be an easy one. See, We got C, 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 C. Correct answer, C. Take a photo. Inform the other people. It is your problem, but it is not your problem at the same time.
All right. How many W's do we have? 3, 1, 3, 2. We have a tiebreaker. Who's coming in for the tiebreaker? Gresh is going to say it. The rules are.
I don't think we did it
up.
last time because Bailey was like a two-week winning streak.
And then
Is
everyone
Bailey?
else gets a chance.
Are you in the running for the 3 weeks in a row? Holy cats! Here we go. Go by
This one's whoever writes it down the quickest.
Yes.
It's not A through D.
Yep. Eat the mic.
All right, tiebreaker. Educational facilities for junior colleges, universities, and continuing education for classes above 12th grade are classified as what occupancy?
Is it
Do you want me to repeat?
A, I, U,
No.
B,
C, D, F.
S. Wait. They get another turn. Who else is in the running? You have to write down the letter. S. S. No.
No. No.
I swear we already did this question.
I know. I thought we did too. That's okay. It's kind of a tough one because it's hard. I get that. I get the trickery here.
It's a tricky one.
Yep.
Holy cow! Just write letters down, right?
Yeah.
We all know these occupancies.
Nope.
F, no. No.
Come on. You guys know?
You're running out of options. No. You've almost went through all of the letters.
So just
There's like
guess
3
together.
remaining.
Oh my god.
What? Even if it's one that you don't think it is.
Good lord. There you go.
B, business.
Business. I swear we already did this one. Yep. That's one too, because if you think about if it's under 50 in a lot of applications too, it's B. So that's it. That's all we have. Check out Revit Rocket Ship, Lance.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash the subscribe or whatever you got to do there. Leave us a 5-star review in the iTunes. We will see you next week.